everyone to our live stream Lighting Controls podcast here. Webster Marsh and Ron Kuzma, your hosts.
Yeah, it feels like it's been 15 minutes since we just did this. No, it's great to have everyone back, and we have Simon here with us now, and we're going to talk about some Bluetooth and some NLC
From
and
Silvair.
From Silvair. So we're going to let Simon give us a quick introduction, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Simon Slupik, CTO at Silvair, and chairing the Bluetooth Mesh Working Group at Bluetooth SIG as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's awesome. I mean you're really involved in Bluetooth development and committee work.
Yeah, so historically, we discovered many years ago that Bluetooth had potential, but really it wasn't in its prime time for professional lighting controls.
Mm-hmm.
But it had the most potential of any technology that we were considering. And back in 2014, we co-created a working group, and that group started working on Bluetooth mesh specifications, which went live in 2017, already 6 years ago. Primary base for this technology has always been commercial professional lights.
Yeah, I mean the last two manufacturers we spoke. I mean the work that you have done to develop Bluetooth mesh is phenomenal for our industry and essential so that we can get wireless technology. But Silvair obviously was on the ground floor, so you've had time to develop yours and really work with it.
So actually, to some extent, we had the system developed initially, and we kind of contributed that to Bluetooth SIG, which then, it then works. It opened the standard to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this is not exactly what we had, because we had many other very valuable contributors working with us at the time, including very high-profile companies like Intel, for example.
Yeah.
Very involved in that, and many other well-known names. The fruit of that was the initial set of specs, which went live in 2017, and that was very, I would say, surprising to many market players, because nobody expected level complete this market exactly. So that was surprising, and that gave us this initial kickstart, I would say, as a supplier, right? And then everybody else was like, Bluetooth consumer rooted technology is really applicable. We have our professional things, and then in the end, now down difficult to find anyone that speaks for itself. But also here in this Bluetooth turf, we have some issues or some things we would like to clarify or straighten, because there are many variants of, people are using Bluetooth. This is not exactly, there's this overarching promise of universal interoperability. That fully hasn't happened yet. But of course, interoperability for us is a journey, a mindset. So definitely, I don't think ever solve it to 100%, but we are getting there, and there is a huge commitment from all the Mesh and Bluetooth SIG contributors to work on improving interoperability. That's one of the focal points for us.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're hearing a lot of demand for, is consensus and consistency between the manufacturers, and the fact that you say Bluetooth is ubiquitous right now, it's a perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah, so again, coming back to what we delivered 6 years ago, Bluetooth Mesh as a universal set of technologies, kind of a toolkit. You could use that to build a very highly scalable professional lighting control system, or you could just use that to control your single light bulb with your phone, right? So the spectrum of applications was super wide, and a little bit of concern because the small vendors were saying, okay, we don't need all that complexity. We go for thousands of lights, like, so why would you force on us that many requirements to fulfill that makes our product more expensive? And on the other side, the professional players, the commercial lighting companies, they were saying, okay, these products don't work for us because they don't have the capacity, don't have the power, don't have this, that. And we took that feedback very seriously. And now, I mean, the 2023 is a super important year for Bluetooth Mesh in general, because we have just published the new set of the upgraded draft specifications. So they will be officially available in Q3. But as draft specs, they are already out and accessible to anyone, so people can start reading them, getting prepared. Collectively, there are 10 specifications now. So you know, the scope has dramatically expanded. But among them, there are 6 specs which are very unique. We call them profiles, for lighting control profiles, and they are basically defining how things work on a device level. So among those 6, we have occupancy sensor, very precise description of how to build an occupancy sensor. Now, we realized that there were too many options, and people were, you know, doing the same things different ways, and that kind of some of those. Now, with those device level specifications, we have occupancy sensor, we have ambient light level sensor, we have dimmable light controller, we have pin selector. So 6 device types which really can make any system, like big or small. They're super precise in a sense that
so Vere's behind this.
Well, we propose the overarching logical architecture of how you build a lighting system based on Bluetooth. You need those several times distributed mesh, that you don't have this central box which drives everything. You know, the intelligence is in every device, so it's fully distributed. It's therefore fully it scales very well, and that now within the architecture we realized, okay, you need these device roles, and we with the industry players, either lighting companies or semiconductor companies, contributed a lot to jointly, you know, defining these specs. But anyway, these specs are out now, so I encourage anyone to go to bluetooth.com, go to specifications, and find the specifications. They are not fully adopted yet, but you can see what's
no, I mean,
store.
Anybody who wants to know and stay ahead of the curve, it's an opportunity to see what's coming out and maybe even give feedback if they have any. But I mean, ultimately, you know, this is what specifiers sometimes ask for is, hey, how do I get in on the ground floor of this? How do I get part of the conversation?
Yeah, so you mentioned specifiers, and this will be, I think, super making their job much easier now, because they will need to ask in the spec requirements for qualified Bluetooth NLC devices, and that will be, you know, almost a guarantee that you know, everything fits together. And
yeah, because before you had to spec which kind of Bluetooth you're using and really pay attention. Now with the spec approach, it's needs to be qualified Bluetooth NLC.
So
yes.
is your hope with interoperability that if someone really likes sensor from manufacturer A and these switches from manufacturer B, that they'd be able to communicate with each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely, exactly. You know, we have done this for phone or personal audio already.
Yep.
You know, today probably you cannot find a personal audio device which would speak something else than Bluetooth and wouldn't work. I mean, it may work worse or better because of, you know, price points and the brand who is behind it, and so on and so forth. But in the end, I heard, I may quote here a sales guy from Best Buy. I was looking at pair of considering, because it was mentioning not Apple that, and the guy said, well, with everything. So
Yeah.
we absolutely know we can get there.
Yep.
And there's been many efforts over the last 6 years, because we realized, okay, we're on track, but we haven't got there yet. So most of the efforts were in this area on reinforcing the interoperability aspects.
No, I think that's a valid and really important. Ron and I were sitting in workshops yesterday, and there was demand for simpler, easier specs, and so this is one step towards that.
Yeah, other improvement a lot on the qualification and testing, because we realized, you know, many people claim Bluetooth mesh compliance, however they shortcuts and market. Tempting for some manufacturers, can be tempting, but it's of course a short-legged effort. And there have been many improvements in how products are tested and qualified. So, for example, on the security front, this is another really area of our attention, because security is not something that you can judge with a naked eye, right? It's something that somebody may claim things, and then how do you validate that? So first of all, Bluetooth mesh as an fully open standard. This is like, being an open standard is the fundamental prerequisite for proper security. Because if something is closed, if it's a black box, I mean, you can trust the vendor, but how do you verify? There's no way to verify it, right? If it's open, if they present you with the entire blueprint and say, hey, this is how we are doing things, and now together with that, we have precise tests to test products that fully implement what we require, that really guarantees the proper security. And security, I believe, is already now, and looking forward will be even more, the differentiator between technologies and products on this market, because we are moving now very rapidly into, you know, really huge network lighting system, and also people are betting their high value brands on certain technologies and products. And then imagine if the technology that you've selected and you've advertised and you've kind of put your identity behind, it turns out to be with some security problems, then immediately you can lose trust from the market, and that becomes really costly affair. So Bluetooth here really stands for you know, being absolutely the best of breed security architecture, and also doing a lot into making sure that that is properly implemented in products.
Awesome.
No, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate you joining us here today, and thank you for sponsoring the podcast. If you want to learn more about the company, Silvair, go to silvair.com. And do you mind just mentioning that URL you said about Bluetooth if you want to check out the specs again?
It's bluetooth.com, and in the main menu there is a tag for specifications. If you go there, then there is a whole list of like dozens, or if not half specs. But if you select the draft specifics and you type in mesh, and it should list you a set of 10 draft specs, the latest ones, which cover all the areas that we have discussed about.
Awesome. Well, Simon, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for joining us.
See you guys soon.